big school products.
Oh, managing the products that come out of it.
Yeah. Creating the right vacancies and retaining them.
Yeah.
Is it a tough task, and why is it so? The context.
Yeah. Campus recruitment and campus placements. There are some companies who do it extremely well, and there are some companies who don't. Okay. The key issue is look at it from the student standpoint. The student requires, first of all, a challenging assignment. The student also requires clarity on where she or he will be a few years from now. So the better a company is able to show the way on progression, on where the student is going to be X years from now, on what are the challenges that the job entails, that much enthusiastic that student will be to join the company. There is a misnomer that students just go for the money. It is not so. The role assumes critical importance. The role, the challenge, the flexibility of the company to incorporate the talents which the students have, these are very critical parameters for the student to join companies.
We have organizations, that have a good talent resource. We are a country with a very good talent resource. So where do we fall short?
I don't think we are falling short. You see, what is happening now is that on the supply side, there are a number of institutions coming up. Okay, take a look at business education and take a look at IIMs. There were 3 IIMs some time back. Then it became about 5, 6. And now there are 19 IIMs. Say each IIM producing, let's say, 300 to 400 students. So there is a supply side that's happening. There are good institutions being built, both in the private sector and in the government. So supply side is taken care of. On the demand side, growth is taking care of demand. Okay, as you know, India is like on the forefront of growth, and that is throwing up interesting challenges which require highly skilled and educated and accomplished individuals. So as going forward, I think we are in a good position, and given our demographic dividend, given that we are a young country, okay, so add all this together, I think we are on a good path to get challenging roles for accomplished students or who want to enter industry.
Looking ahead, should we do away with the ready-made roles and move more into the flexible kind of positioning that can happen for the youngsters in the organizations? Are ready-made roles just stopping them from growing or exhibiting their talent?
Yeah, that's a good question. If you ask a student, he will or she will definitely agree with you and say that I want a role that exactly suits my interests and so on. But often industry would find it difficult to get into that level of flexibility. But having said that, I think it's a mixture of both. There is need for structure and processes. There is also need for flexibility and the giving challenging roles which handle complexities, ambiguity, uncertainty, all those kind of stuff which are handled. Students will really enjoy all that because coming from a premier B school background or something, they expect to be given assignments which are very challenging rather than stereotyped. Yeah. So I would say that both the process as far as the flexibility are important components in driving a student's aspirations.
As far as talent management, engagement is concerned, what is the right way to, keep these people engaged all the time? Is it just about aligning them with the organizational objectives of service deliveries, or is it taking them beyond what is a set goal and, helping them to think beyond what has been, planned or in paper?
Yeah, that's a good one because you see, look at it again from the student perspective. Here is this student who has performed extremely well, got into a great institute, and is coming out of the institute with strong hopes. She wants to change the world. She wants to get things done. Okay, so the process is to challenge the person, give meaty roles, and at the same time, she or he needs to be clear as to where they will be X years from now. So the progression, the career path is important, the challenge of the role is important, and continuous growth for the student who is joining the company becomes very important. So it's a merging of the basic philosophy of the company with the aspiration of the student community which joins.
From talent engagement to talent management, what are really the must-dos the companies must do, to keep going and be on top of everything?
On talent management, okay. You see, a student joins a company, okay. We know the conventional saying, that people don't leave organizations, they leave their bosses, kind of a thing. So first of all, the culture of the organization, to manage talent, the culture of the organization, the organization, especially the HR fraternity, should be very on the ball in terms of assessing what kind of leadership they have across the spectrum, from junior leadership to the top leadership, so that the talented individuals who creep in, and I'm talking more talented individuals who come in, and I'm talking mostly from the MBA kind of a perspective. So those people, they should have the freedom, flexibility, and growth to kind of, as we discussed earlier, to traverse their career paths. This is one. The second is managing these people. It cannot be static. Today's millennial generation, they want change, they want adaptability, they want to do different things. So this is again a structuring part. The company has to build in flexibility. So all that you see about shifts in terms of roles that are given to them, challenges given which are not as a part of their routine, all these things will kind of start getting them hooked on and committed. Nowadays the student is not joining a company to be there for the next 30 years and doing progressive kind of work. They're joining to get flavor, challenged, to be challenged, to understand how their efforts and ability can be best used, etc. So from the client side, the company side, you require that kind of a motivational and a structural paradigm to look at.
Where do you see the Indian millennia 10 years ahead? What are the kinds of jobs that would evolve from today?
See, the Indian millennia, including people like you, you're on a very, very good track. You can start with that 1997 article at McKinsey Review on War on Talent. It's all about the demographic dividend, okay? I think there are only few, 3 or 4 countries, which includes India, which has got a positive demographic dividend, which means that we've got a youth population that will see us through the number of years. Most of the other countries are having negative growth in terms of their demographic dividend, which means that the Indian youth will no longer have just India as a playground. They will be in demand across the world. Okay, as they grow as they kind of get to be globalized citizens, and more and more countries will start welcoming them, because they really don't have much of a choice, because this is where the talent pool resides. So as that happens, the roles that open up will start getting to be different, because it is in the cultural context, in the national context, in the engineering, in the technology, in the sales and marketing context, in the global context. So those globalized roles are what you're going to see, or what these youngsters are going to see 5 or maybe 10 years down.
Can add on to the most unique contribution this Indian millennia, or in general the millennia is going to add to the organizations or businesses across the world?
Yes, the initial trends are very visible. Take a look at how the environment of startups is coming up. Okay, so there is smartness, there is flexibility, there is dealing with ambiguity, there is risk-taking ability, there is the power to perform, confidence. All these are going to be our inherent traits, which are now getting built into the young gen of India. Okay, and add to this, as we have an academic infrastructure that gives them attitude, skills, knowledge, as they imbibe that, this combination would be a very interesting entrepreneurial combination, even for working in major corporations around the world. So I would see a trend somewhere there, where you're very bright students coming in from great universities within India become global citizens. They get globalized and they perform and contribute to the world economy rather than get into a specific small silo.